Hello YouTube, welcome to my comprehensive and in-depth guide to all perks. This is for the current patch, which is patch 0.3.0.08, and I will be discussing about all perks that's both survivors and specters. And that's 10 perks on each side, and I have done little experiments here and there to see how some of the perks work, especially when they don't explain what the value, what percentage, benefits and so on. They don't really discuss about that, so I'm going to go through that in details. So the first perk we're going to talk about is Treasure Hunter. Treasure Hunter, while opening item chest, progress bar will be shorter. Now I know I've done the video for this one, but I've been testing every single perk just in case they have changed anything. But with Treasure Hunter, it saves about 1 second doing an item chest. It saves 1 second, and while it doesn't seem like a great addition to have, it is saving 12.5% of the overall progress speed. Not only that, at the end game, which is quite easy to get to if you're an experienced survivor, you get all the rituals are done. The problem with the end game is the end game RNG with items. You just don't get the chaplets. Forget the traps, because most experienced spectre will not be affected by traps anyway, but chaplet are the most important ones. But sometimes you just don't end up with the chaplets, you end up with the stamina drinks, you end up with the rattans, you end up with the holy water, you're just not dealing enough damage. Everything that you need at the end game, Treasure Hunter does really help in that sense. I do think that Treasure Hunter is actually one of the better perks to have. Next one we have is Adrenaline. If HP is less than 50%, movement speed increases. Now it doesn't really say what percentage it is. I've talked to different people, they all seem to have various different opinions on what the percentage is. But you can see in the video that with Adrenaline and without Adrenaline there is hardly any sort of difference. Now it does seem to affect the walking speed as well, not just running only. But difference on there in the same given time frame is very minimal. So it's not really worth running. Next one we have is Take a Rest. Stamina will recover faster while crouching. Now this is a very interesting perk. It's easy to access perk as well because it's available very early in the levels, and you can see that stamina does regenerate faster if it's crouching. Now it seems to be giving you about 2 seconds faster stamina recharge rather than standing around, and it does work while you're crouching around. So while you're still moving, it does recharge as well, obviously a bit longer because you're moving around. However, with Take a Rest, it takes about 12 seconds to recharge your stamina, whereas while without it takes 15 seconds. So overall it does seem to support that it's 20% faster stamina recharge overall. Next one we have here is Thread Expert. Holy String Trap progress bar will be reduced by half. Now it sounds so amazing. 50% faster, right? No, actually in practice it doesn't work like that. If you see these, because of the skill checks actually slows it down. And if you get an RNG with a skill check, it makes no difference whatsoever, as you can see. This is by far the worst perk in the entire game. Not only it doesn't do anything, so there are 7 items in the game that you can get from the item chest, right? And this only affects 1 out of 7 items, and not only that, it doesn't actually do much on that as well. Even though it looks good, it's in practice very impractical and useless. By far the worst perk. Next one we have is Door Slam. Using doors or leaving lockers and wardrobes when the spectre is standing in front can stun the spectre. Now this is easily accessible in the early game as well, and it is actually quite useful.
Yes,
due to how the animation works in the game currently, you can, as soon as the spectre is showing that motion
I went
destroying the
in!
wardrobe, you can leave and stun the spectre without taking any damage. And it's got very low cooldown of 12 seconds. You can buy a lot of distance with it as well, and it's an amazing tool overall. Now next one we have, I'm going to talk about both at the same time. It is Sharp Eye and Focus. Now I have an entire video dedicated to these 2 perks. Now although I do have to say Sharp Eye isn't bad, not because Sharp Eye itself has magically become better, it's more like that other perks, other survivor perks are bad. Right, moving on, we have Superhero Landing. Take no damage when dropping from high ground, and it has built-in cooldown of 60 seconds. Now this perk is a bit situational, but it is very good in places such as hospital, where you do have lots of floor drops, and simply it is one of the better perks to have at the moment. Even with a 60-second cooldown, you can use it multiple times. Right? Next one we have is Sturdy. This perk will activate only once. If HP is higher than 1, incoming damage that would be fatal will leave 1 HP instead. Now it sounds like also you can just take literally one more hit, right? Doesn't sound that amazing, but in practice it is actually quite good. Not only does it give you extra HP to survive, it really screws up with the Spectre's plan. The Spectre thinks, I've hit you so many times that you'll be going down the next hit, but it doesn't because of a Sturdy. You have to spend extra next 20 or 30 seconds chasing, or possibly a minute or even. It really screws up with the whole plan that Spectre has made, and this is really good. It's the fact that you can have it. Spectre needs to think about it and actually make plans according to it. It's really easy to lose pressure on rituals because of Sturdy. Now, moving on to Spectre perks. Spectre perks. First one, let's go through the Shadow Barrier first. When attacked from behind, melee weapons will be destroyed. Now this is again early access perk for Spectres, and it does work, and it is quite useful, especially towards the end games. Not a must, but it is a solid perk. Now, only thing I have concerns with this perk is that we don't know, well, I don't know what angles count as back. Yuri's camera flashlight is about 60 to 90 degrees in front of the Spectre. So does that count as back? Again, 60 to 90 degrees only? Or is it whole 180 degrees? I don't know. I just didn't get to test that. But even if it's 60 to 90 degrees, solid perk nonetheless. Next one we have is Jump Scare. Jump Scare. Invisible form can be activated in shorter distance from survivors. When leaving invisible form, the Spectre will not lose movement speed in red screen. It's the latter part that's actually useful. You can see another video part here that invisible form distance, it is shorter. It is definitely shorter, but it's not by much. It's the fact that you can attack faster. That's actually quite good. Now, next one we have is Last Dance. Performing execution will recover 50 HP. Now, you only get to really use this once at least 2 rituals done. Otherwise, it is useless. It's not even worth discussing. Moving on. Auto Guard. When taking damage, there is a chance immunity will automatically trigger. Now, keyword here is chance, and it's 1 in every 3 hits. Ish. Now there's a trap here. It's not. Okay, watch the video carefully. First hit. Second hit. Third hit. And you can see the immunity trigger. When the immunity triggers, you can still use your own immunity. It still doesn't go away. The thing is, Auto Guard also triggers even if your immunity is on cooldown. And not only that, even though it says chance that 1 in 3 will attack, it doesn't work like that. It actually works in 1 in every 3 hits. There's a difference. 1 in every 3 hits. It will guarantee to activate. It's not a chance perk that doesn't use immunity. Which brings us to Helmet. Gives a chance of resisting stuns. Again, it doesn't show you what percentage it is, but if you see this video, every 3rd hit. Do you see a pattern here? So both Auto Guard and Helmet, even though it doesn't say, it has 30% activation, but it's not 30% chance. It's 1 in 3. Every 3rd hit, they'll activate. So if you have Auto Guard, Helmet, and your immunity, you can be invulnerable for a very long time. And for a Spectre like Bell, who doesn't really rely on active perks, so Dark Occult is not exactly the best, these two are probably one of the better combinations to go with as well. Now, moving on, we got Dark Occult. Now, reduced active perk cooldown by 30%. It is by far the best perk on any Spectre, any 3 Spectres you can have. It is useful for all 3 of them. It's not the best, but it's definitely not the worst, and it will always do what I say it will do. Now we have stamina drain. Oh, stamina drain. Maintaining aim at the target survival will drain their stamina. Now, I have a few videos out with this one. I played on stream with this one, and I've always said stamina drain is great, okay, because it slows down survivors, right? Very, very wrong. Stamina does not slow down survivors after the first drain. So look at this video. It takes how long to drain Tim's stamina from full to nothing? It takes 26 seconds to drain him. And it doesn't actually drain to the bottom either. It actually, even though it's showing that Tim doesn't have any stamina left, he can actually run. He actually still has stamina, right? Not only that, now the stamina drain light is back, saying that it's draining stamina, but watch Tim carefully again. So even the stamina, he shouldn't have any stamina left at this point, because I've been looking at him. Right? So he shouldn't be able to run. But watch him run. For ages. Now, I thought something was wrong, so I actually timed it this time. And he's running, and running, and running for a full 9 seconds. Stamina drain is a lie. Now, next one we have Special Receptor. While using Invisible Form, the Spectre will see survivors' aura more frequently. And it does exactly what it says it does. So literally every second or so, you can just see the auras. But in all honesty, you don't really get to use this, because once you use it, you should know, as a good Spectre, you should know what the locations of people are, and you'll be going there anyway, so it doesn't make much of a difference. So you kind of waste it. Poltergeist. 2 seconds after immunity is activated, walking through doors and wall holes will destroy them. Movement speed will slightly decrease at the moment of impact. So it does, again, what it says it does. You can destroy things. But, here's the thing. How many though? You can only destroy 1 to 2 doors at most. Is it worth a perk slot for that? No, not really. Next one, phasing. Can move through doors or wall holes without destroying them in invisible form. Again, it does exactly what it says it does. However, what's the first thing that Spectre should do in the beginning of the game? Destroy all wall holes and doors. So is this going to be useful? No. So here's a short conclusion. So for survivor perks from best to worst, I would highly recommend getting something like Sturdy, Door Slam, Superhero Landing, Treasure Hunter, Sharp Eye even, right? Take a Rest is actually quite useful, but it is more of an ambush playstyle for survivors. If you're trying to stun a killer, ambush, it is very useful for that. Okay, or hogging up pot or hogging up vent to get more stamina. Yes. Otherwise, everything else on top is what you should be really running. Everything on the bottom, Lucky Shot. I haven't even discussed Lucky Shot. Lucky Shot essentially increases your DPS by 10%. It's not worth it. Okay, and judging by how the helmet and how the auto guard was working, Lucky Shot probably would work on every 10th hit as well, because it's 10% chance, right? But it's not really a chance. Moving on to Spectre perk, best worst, it's very easy for this one. Dark Occult is by far the most reliable perk you can rely on the Spectre side. Helmet and auto guard actually as a combo isn't bad. They're very good in fact. If you're playing Bell, I'd highly recommend getting Helmet and auto guard on Bell. Jump Scare is okay, just for the fact that you can attack as soon as you get out of invisibility, and Share Barrier isn't too bad if you're getting ambushed from behind, that kind of a people. As for the rest of the Spectre perk currently in this patch are shite. Alright, that is it from me. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Leave any questions and any suggestions down in the comments below. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you next time. If you liked this video, please like and subscribe. I upload videos on a daily basis. If you got any suggestions or anything you have in mind, please leave a comment. Thanks for watching.